He's everyone's favourite bear, and he's on CITV every Wednesday at 5 to 4. Look out for Rupert.
Yes, you are watching CITV. Stay with us because later on at 20 to 5, it's Children's Ward. Today, very important episode. Gary's parents arrive for a case conference and the accusations fly. Will Mrs. Lonsdale believe him? Well, we'll find out later on. Also still to come at 4:15, Mike and Angelo. Now that it's time for the Raggy Dolls. Today they invent a skateboard, and I think might go out of control. Let's have a look.
It's not much of a life when you've got a pretty face.
Just to be whoever you are is no disgrace. Don't be scared if you don't fit in. Look who's in the reject bin. It's the Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Dolls like you and me. Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Made him perfectly. So if you got a bump on your nose or lumps on your toes, do not despair. Be like the Raggy Dolls and say I just don't care. 'Cause Raggy Dolls,
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls
Raggy Dolls.
are happy just to be Raggy Dolls, Raggy Dolls, dolls like you and me.
It was a fine Saturday morning, and the Raggy Dolls were having breakfast in the factory canteen. All except Hi-Fi and Back to Front. They were in the tool shed, making a skateboard.
Someone ought to go and tell them breakfast is ready,
said Dotty.
I'll go.
Said Lucy.
I'd like to see how they're getting on.
Hi-Fi and Back to Front were having problems. It had been easy enough to cut out the board to stand on, but finding the right sort of wheels and the right size was proving to be difficult. They had tried corks with bent nails through them, but they were too soft. They'd tried cotton reels, but they were too hard. They were wondering what to do next when Lucy arrived.
Breakfast is ready, she said. How are you getting on?
No, not too good, stammered Hi-Fi. We're having problems with the wheels, said Back to Front glumly.
Never mind,
said Lucy.
come and have some breakfast, and we'll all think about it.
On their way to the canteen, they met Rupert the Roo, who was full of his usual bounce. G'day, Sports. What you doing? Is there anything I can do? I'm just itching to get stuck into something.
Well, we're just about to have breakfast,
said Lucy.
You can join us if you like.
Ah, no thanks, I'm stuffed. I just had breakfast with old Edward. Boy, can that bear eat. You don't happen to know where we can find some small wheels, do you? Interrupted Back to Front. Only we're trying to make a skateboard, and we've run into a bit of a problem. Rupert stopped bouncing.
Struth, you? With a problem? This must be serious.
Back to Front explained all about the wheels. Say no more, Sports. Leave it to me. I'll make some inquiries. And with one enormous bounce, he was gone. Old Edward, Mr. Grimes' boyhood teddy bear, was just about to have a snooze after his big breakfast. Suddenly, Rupert bounced in. Say, Edward, wake up! You don't happen to know where I can get my hands on some small wheels, do you?
Small wheels?
Muttered Edward.
What on earth do you want small wheels for? I'd have thought you were mobile enough as it is.
Ah, they're not for me, explained the kangaroo. They're for the Raggy Dolls. They want to make a skateboard.
A skateboard?
Said the old teddy bear.
What's a skateboard?
Rupert shrugged. I don't know. Anyway, they're trying to make one, and I promised to find them some small wheels. Rupert began looking in the most unlikely places. Under cushions, potted plants, up the chimney.
Oh, what are you doing? Said old Edward wearily. I know where some are, but I don't see how you could use them.
Where? Demanded Rupert eagerly.
Well, they're on the tea trolley, but...
Seconds later, he was back, clutching the 4 little casters from the legs of Mr. Grimes's tea trolley. These'll do great, no worries. Thanks, Sport. The happy kangaroo kissed the old bear on the head and bounced out, leaving the old teddy still protesting.
But you can't take them. Old Grimes, he uses that tea trolley. Oh, dear.
What have I done?
The Raggy Dolls had just finished breakfast and done the washing up when Rupert came bounding in. He was grinning from ear to ear.
G'day, g'day is what I say, no matter what you do. Be it work or be it play, I'm the roo for you.
Good heavens, said Dotty. Poetry at this hour of the morning. What are you so pleased about?
Ta-da!
Rupert produced the 4 little wheels with a flourish.
Wow!
Stammered Hi-Fi.
They look perfect.
Come on, said Back to Front, not stopping to think where they came from. Let's all go to the tool shed and put them on right away. In no time at all, Back to Front had fixed the wheels onto the board. He put one on each corner, and not only did they spin quite freely, they could also turn in any direction.
Are you sure they should do that?
Said Sadsack. Yeah, no problem, said Back to Front. It just means you can go round corners easily, that's all. Come on, let's test it. Hi-Fi and Back to Front had already made a long ramp from a plank of wood that ran down to the concrete factory yard. They had also made helmets from little plastic flower pots and knee and elbow pads from old tennis balls. Lucy giggled.
Oh dear, I'm sorry, but you do look very comical.
Back to Front didn't mind. Better safe than sorry, he said. Do you want to go first, Hi-Fi?
No, it's okay. You can go first if you like.
Back to Front proudly walked up the ramp with the skateboard and positioned it at the very top.
Don't you think you ought to test it on level ground first?
Said Dotty, becoming concerned. No problem, said the daring Back to Front. You've got to build up a bit of speed to test it properly. Everyone held their breath. Back to Front carefully climbed onto the skateboard, but no sooner had he stood up than he started zooming down the plank.
Whoa!
He yelled. Oh my goodness, exclaimed Lucy. He went so fast that as soon as he reached the concrete of the yard, he started spinning round and round, as fast as a spinning top. The others rushed over and gathered round him. Back to Front looked up, and was still so dizzy the others seemed to be floating slowly around him. Wow, was all he could say. Are you all right? Asked Dotty. What do you think of the wheels, then? Said Rupert, rather inappropriately.
I knew they weren't the right sort,
said Sadsack. Back to Front slowly picked himself up, just as old Edward and Mr. Marmalade, the factory cat, arrived on the scene.
Is Back to Front hurt?
Asked Mr. Marmalade. No, I'm all right, said Back to Front, thanks to my knee pads and helmet.
Good,
said the big ginger cat.
Then I must insist that you return the wheels to Mr. Grimes's tea trolley immediately.
The Raggy Dolls looked at Rupert. So that's where you got them from, said Dotty. Honestly, Rupert, you should have known better.
Well, I tried to tell him, but he was in too much of a hurry,
said old Edward.
Chuckled Mr. Marmalade. Rather like our dizzy friend Back to Front. Now, if only you'd come to me, I could have told you where a real skateboard is.
What? Gasped Back to Front. Really? Where?
Do you mean to say that you still wish to pursue this absurd vehicular activity?
The Raggy Dolls nodded.
Oh, very well,
sighed Mr. Marmalade. He told them where to find the skateboard. It was in the cupboard under the stairs in Mr. Grimes's cottage. It belonged to Oz, one of Mr. Grimes's nephews. Boz had broken his, and the terrible twins had argued so much that he'd had no choice but to confiscate it. And so, for the rest of the day, the Raggy Dolls whizzed happily about the factory yard on the proper skateboard, pushed along by Rupert's powerful big feet.
No worries is the thing to say. Ask any kangaroo. The Raggy Dolls can skate all day. Fair dinkum and yahoo!
Raggy dolls, dolls like you and me. Raggy dolls, made imperfectly. So if you're not at ease, happy just to be Raggy Dolls, dolls like you and me.
Oh, isn't it sweet that Mr. Grimes has still got his teddy bear after all these years, and he's still a grown-up. I've still got my teddy bear as well, hidden away somewhere, and some people even say I look like a teddy bear, but I won't go into that. Tomorrow at 4:20 on CITV, Grot Bags. She has a nightmare about being tickled to death, and if you remember last time I was here, Grot Bags was with me, so look out for that. That's tomorrow at 4:20. But next on CITV, it's Mike and Angelo.
Discover the magic of railways with a Hornby train set. Hornby train sets, now standing at a toy or model shop nearby.
And all because the lady loves Cadbury's milk tray.
They're here. Chico radio control toys, just for young kids. Press and they're off. Did you hear that? Headlights on. Catch him at the corner. They're so easy, it's child's play.
I won.
Chico, it's real remote control. Everything they imagine. That's Chico.
Do your eyes deceive you? Remember, only one sense can discern true quality. Mandate.
Flicker stickers, take one. Now you can make your own Cocoa Pops cartoon. Just stick in the 32 picks and flick them, see? 4 whole sets to collect.
Come on, hurry up! Who's in there now? It's Hurricane, Lucy Lou! New Lucy Lou comes with training pants and her very own magic potty. No water, no mess, and there's a real flushing sound. New Lucy Lou, no water, no mess, just magic.
I'm just a mean green mother from outer space, and I'm bad at green bags. I'm just a mean green mother from outer space, and it looks like you've been had. I'm just a mean green mother from
Wednesdays at 4:20 on CITV, Grot Bags.
'Cause I'm mean and green, and I am bad.
Oh, very bad, yes. And tomorrow, as I was saying earlier, she has a recurring nightmare about laughing herself to death, being tickled to death, because apparently the only way a witch can die, so she tells me, is by laughing so much that her spells fuse and she explodes. Or something like that, but we'll find out tomorrow. Now that it's time for Mike and Angelo. Rita and Emma pour out today. Let's have a look.
He came from another dimension, from a different universe beyond infinity, and he fell to Earth with a bump. Into Mike King's wardrobe. It's not easy stepping out into an alien world where anything can happen. But who is the mysterious stranger who answers to the name of Angelo? Ask Rita King, whose world is turned upside down when Angelo comes to stay. What's the show? It's Mike and Angelo.
I'm heading up, Angelo.
You haven't even seen the in-flight movie yet.
Oh, tell me what to do to get down.
Right. Okay. Killjoy. Now, ignore the green one. And press the blue one.
Mother, we have spent so much money.
Well, what I always say is, you gotta spend money if you want to have a few laughs.
Well, we must have laughed a lot because we're broke now. That hairstyle alone must have cost you 70 pounds.
Worth every penny. Monsieur Lemon says it makes me look exactly like Joan Collins.
Are you sure that he didn't say Phil Collins?
Not funny, but cute.
Press the blue one. Or maybe it was the yellow one.
Angelo!
Oh, Rita. Mother. Oh, love the new hairstyle. Very you.
Great. Terrific. 70 pounds. Down the pan. So, Rita, have you given it any more thought?
Huh?
About me moving in here.
Say what?
Well, it makes terrific sense. You're in this big house. You need adult company.
There's Angelo.
I said adult company. Think of the benefits. You're out there working. I can be here cleaning and cooking, washing.
And nagging.
Me? Nag? You always say that I nag. How many times have I told you to stop saying I nag? And another thing. Call this clean? All right. So I nag. Everybody's got to have one little pleasure in life. What do you say?
Okay, Mother. If you're really sure it's what you want.
Oh, sugar. It'll be just like the old days.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Well, listen, Mother. If you're gonna come and live here, let's make a big effort not to get on each other's nerves.
Absolutely. You missed a bit over there. Oh, good morning, dear. I'm just rearranging a few things. I didn't think you'd mind. Oh, this sofa looked awful in there. Give me a hand. We'll dump it into the spare room. I'll get you a new one. My treat.
Mother, you put all of this back where it belongs.
It belongs in a skip. That's where it belongs.
Mother, I'm not arguing. You've got to stop this, and stop it now!
Don't raise your voice to me, Rita Mancini.
It's Rita King, as you well know.
Well, you might have married a king, but you ain't living in no palace, I can tell you that for free.
Well, you're the one who's been pestering me to live here. If you don't like it, tough.
I'll like it. I'll like it. Once I make it my own.
Oh, make it your own? But it's not yours to make your own. Who do you think you are?
I think I'm your mother, but I'm beginning to have my doubts.
What is that supposed to mean?
How any daughter of mine can live in a shambles like this is beyond me.
Many things are beyond you, Mother, including tact, civility, and common courtesy.
Well, I like that.
Well, hallelujah! We finally found something she likes.
I'll have less of your cheek, my girl.
I am not your girl. I'm a grown-up woman with a job and a car.
And a house that looks like the Munsters have just moved out.
Mother, do you know your problem? You can't not stop criticizing.
Can't not stop? What kind of grammar is that?
Oh!
You never learned that from me. I'm beginning to realize you learned nothing from me.
Oh, what was there to learn?
How to keep a home for one, and how to pick a husband for another.
Oh, here we go.
That husband of yours was just like that sofa. Cheap, nasty, and a pain in the butt.
Mother, that was uncalled for. I want an apology for that.
Okay. Sorry, sofa. Nothing personal.
Mother!
I told you from the start that he was bad news. But would you listen to me? Oh, no. You wouldn't listen. You never listen.
I married him to get away from you! Oh, Mother, I'm sorry.
Well, at least my husband didn't leave me for another woman.
Mother, that is not true, and you know it! Oh!
Angelo, what can we do?
Let's start again at the very beginning. Come on, Ellie. Get on that end. Oh, here we are.
Don't they realise this is all a bit silly? I mean, if they're both going to live together, they have to get on with each other. simply arguing and kiss and make up.
Huh. I'd rather kiss a toad.
What was that?
She said she'd rather kiss a toad.
Thank you, Angelo.
You hear how she talks about her own mother?
Oh, come on, cut this out, you two. Can't you be friends?
No.
Well, you can't go on living like this.
You said it.
Darn right.
Right, so what are you going to do about it?
Keep out of each other's way.
As far as possible.
Suits me.
Well, suits me too.
Angelo, there must be something you can do.
I do believe there is.
Hi, Angelo.
Oh, bye.
Is she gone, Rita?
Oh, well, yes, just now.
I'm just going to pop out for a few things. I'll see you later this afternoon.
Great, good. Okay, bye.
And then we crept up behind Mr. Doyle. What? Flipping heck, what's happened?
Angelo!
Oh, welcome home. Or should I say Holmes? Come in, come in.
What in the world?
The answer to your problem. No need to thank me. My pleasure.
Angelo, what have you done?
I've split the house in half. Half for you, half for Mother.
Half for Mother, huh?
Oh, Mother, perfect timing. Now, heads or tails?
Huh?
I'm tossing a coin to see who gets which part of the house. Heads this side, tails that side.
It's ridiculous. Your idea, no doubt.
No, but I wish it had been. It's inspired. Well done, Angelo. Heads.
Crying out loud.
Heads it is. You get this half of the house. Rita, that's your front door, and this is your key.
Yeah.
Mother, you're in the wrong half. Out, out. Now, this is your front door, and this is your key. And you need never meet each other again.
Well, that gets my vote.
So, this is your big idea, huh? Brilliant.
Ellie, come on. Let's leave them on their own. Follow me.
Okay, yes.
Rita, Mother, it's all yours. See you. Bye.
Well, Angelo's finally come up trumps. A whole half a house to myself. Bliss.
Well, if you ask me, the whole idea stinks.
Oh, well, yet again, we disagree, dear Mother. Yet again.
I am going to make me a coffee.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea.
Angelo, you're a madman. And what's all this?
Ah, but there's a method in my madness. Right. Now, let's sit back and watch the fun.
You're going to have a few problems making coffee without any water, Mother, because I've got the taps.
You're the one with the problem, sweetheart. I've got the kettle.
There is more than one way to boil water, Mother.
That is if you've got the cooker.
Yes.
No water, huh? What do you call this? Chicken soup?
And what do you call this?
I call that an act of desperation. Oh, by the way, don't drink too much tea, because I got the John.
This is supposed to be making things better, is it?
You can't make an omelette without cracking some eggs.
There's only one thing round here that's cracked.
Yaboo sucks to you, Mother. I got my water hot.
Yaboo sucks back. I got the tea bags. This smells good. That must be for me.
Good, good, very good. All going according to plan.
What plan? Oh, poor Rita. You're being really cruel.
Ah, yes, but you've got to be cruel to be kind. No pain, no gain.
Oh, hey, Mr. Cliche. You missed out fair words for butter, no parsnips.
Oh, ye of little faith. Stay tuned, and all will become clear.
You're missing a very funny show, Rita.
Rita! Rita, are you all right? Rita! Rita, say something!
That's it. Enough's enough.
Oh, don't panic, honey. Mommy's coming.
Just sit down.
No. I know what I'm doing.
But Rita...
They have to sort this out for themselves. Now come back and sit down. Stop worrying.
Darn! Hang in there, sweetheart! I'm coming! Help's on the way, sweetheart! Oh, Rita! Rita! Oh, darling, are you all right?
Okay. I think.
Sweetheart, it's been all my fault.
Oh, no, it hasn't. I'm just as much to blame.
Listen, we've been behaving like a couple of kids. What do you say we rip down all this garbage and live together like one big happy family? Deal?
Deal.
Is it gonna?
Yeah, see? I told you it would work.
You knew this would happen.
Oldest trick in the book.
Nice one, Angelo.
No? I'm trying to do an impression of Angelo, but I'm not doing very well here. I didn't fool you, did I? No, never mind. I'll try and do that one again for you. More Nige and Angelo, of course, next week. And he looked a bit like a deck chair, didn't he, coming down those stairs in that silly nightshirt? I don't know. Yes, more Nige and Angelo next week. But stick with us, because after the break, it is, of course, Children's Ward. Joe's exploits with a camcorder lead to lots of trouble. And Gary, his parents, and a social worker get together for a case conference. It's tough stuff. Stay with us.
There's a magical place, we're on our way there, with toys in the millions all under one roof. It's called Toys R Us.
From Waddington's, get creative with Get Set Jewellery Designer. Toys R Us price $10.97. Get Set Colour Candles. Toys R Us price $13.97. Get Set Playthings. Toys R Us price $13.97.
There's millions of jewelry all under one roof. It's called Toys R Us, Toys R Us, Toys R Us.
Back in the 5th century, 2 Persian monks stole a secret the Chinese had been guarding for 2,000 years. That secret was silk. Now experience the feeling of silk on your face with Rimmel silks. Enriched with silk and other natural ingredients for a softer, long-lasting finish. As you can see, she looks beautiful in silks.
Ho, 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 hey, 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 busy, busy bumblebees. It's a game for me. Busy, busy bumblebees. It's energetically. Everyone's chasing honey. It's busy, busy bumble, busy, busy bumblebee.
Busy Buzzy Bumbles from Waddington.
Busy, busy bumblebees.
What could be better value than Pampers? A Pampers Value Pack. You get all that Pampers dryness and you save money.
Look, your bowl of Rice Krispies is talking.
Yes, but what is it saying?
It says, who's a pretty boy?
They say never let your mom cut your hair.
Nice haircut.
We say snap, crackle, That's my name.
Not you, Pop. This Pop.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies are the talkative part of your nutritious breakfast.
We ever heard of a talking cereal?
What do your Rice Krispies say to you?
Mine has nothing more to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, the McRocking Foods. They shake. They rattle. They swim. There's one starring in every Happy Meal, now appearing at McDonald's.
Obey me, Wario. I am your master. Mario is your enemy.
The wicked imposter Wario has cast an evil spell over Mario Land.
Don't let Mario get the 6 golden coins. Don't let Mario reach the palace.
This is the biggest, most dangerous, most challenging Game Boy adventure yet.
Obey Wario. Destroy Mario.
Don't fall under Wario's evil spell in Super Mario Land 2. Only on Game Boy.
The Tomorrow People. They're out of time, out of place, drawn together by abilities of which the world has only dreamed.
This proves it. You are telepathic.
What brought us here?
I'm not sure, but it's been waiting for us for thousands of years.
The Tomorrow People.
They are teleporters.
Teleport! The Tomorrow People. Wednesdays at 20 to 5 on CITV.
Yes, it's tomorrow 20 to 5, of course. Tomorrow in the Tomorrow People, 2 tomorrows, Megabyte escapes from the dastardly grips of the invincible Gloria and makes his way home, but across the Atlantic, Adam and Lisa aren't having so much success. So I'm told. Now, though, it's time for Children's Ward. It's a tough one today, and listen out at the end of Children's Ward, because I'll be giving you a telephone number for you to ring if you've got any questions on the issues that are raised in today's Children's Ward. Let's see.
Ah, Jenna, you coming home with me and Mum and Dad now?
I ran away because my dad,
Yeah?
oh, he helps lots of people. I mean, everybody likes him, and my mum worships the ground he walks on.
So what are you trying to say?
So, how could I tell her that the man is my dad, the man who helps everybody, makes me do things I don't want to do when she goes out?
Tell me, you've forgotten it again? Not quite. No. You remembered it, but just as you was going through the hospital gates, this crayon from Planet Zog materialised it and sucked it out your hands. Not exactly. Excellent. Now don't drop it and don't lose it. I had it with my life.
Dr. Stalker, you've just missed him, though.
If you see him, could you tell him he's in the chair on Sparky Speaks this lunchtime?
You couldn't keep him there, could you? Take no notice. So what's he chosen?
Oh, Bartok's 4th String Quartet, Beethoven's Mr. Solemnis, Verglate Nacht, Schoenberg.
Yeah, well, we had one of them at Wheel Fell Off.
You can't hide in here forever, Gary.
I can't wait in there. I can't just sit there.
They're not going to let your dad just walk in.
Aren't they?
Of course not. Even if he denied it. I mean, he would, wouldn't he? They're not going to be stupid enough to take his word for it. Are they?
He's a solicitor. He can make black look white when he wants to. It's his job.
His mum and dad gave it him, so he can film what he's up to over there. They can take it back to Geneva and show him when he gets home.
How come he sent it you then?
I'm making a documentary for him, aren't I? About the hospital.
Oh, for goodness sake!
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where did you get that from?
Adam Bellingham lent it me.
Well, I'd be a bit more careful with it if I were you.
Hey, Joe.
What?
You can make some money with that thing.
Oh?
With what?
You all right, Hannah? What's the matter? I don't want milk lipids filmed.
Filming? What do you mean?
Joe's got a video camera. He's flashing it about in there, pointing at everybody.
Who says you're ugly?
I do. Anyone who isn't blind, Kimberly said.
Kimberly said what?
She said I hadn't to touch her stupid typewriter in case I contaminated it.
Yeah, well, Kimberly's got problems.
What problems?
Well, she's a cow, basically. And she'll still be a cow when your face gets better.
Gary. Oh, Gary, love. Oh, Gary. Oh, Gary, what will possessed you to see these things? Can you imagine what we've been through? The police turning up like that. And the things you said. Why, Gary? Can you imagine what it's been like for your father? Gary. Oh, why, Gary?
They shouldn't be allowed expensive toys like that on the ward.
Well, if he does anything else careless, I shall warn him, all right?
Gary's parents have come. They're here. They're in the corridor.
Get Al Morris over here.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
Mr. and Mrs. Lonsdale, I'm Sister Gallagher. I think it'd be better if I went into my office.
And what this whole mess sorted out quickly and with as little fuss as possible.
But he'll lie! He'll make you believe we can do that! He'll make it I'm the one that's lying!
It's all right. It's going to be all right.
I have to come into outpatients once a week to see the psychologist. Make sure I'm coping, you know, eating properly and everything.
You gonna be all right?
I don't know. What time are your mum and dad coming?
Any time. They're going into town first to get some things, nappies and stuff.
When are you off back to school?
Couple of weeks. Got loads of catching up to do. Got my GCSEs next summer.
Will you leave after then, or what?
I never thought about leaving. Don't know what I'd do if I left.
Look after the baby.
I mean, a job. I was supposed to go to university when I'm old enough. That was the idea. Get qualified, get a good job. That's what my mum and dad wanted anyway.
What do you want?
I don't know. It's different now.
I'm dreading going back to school.
Yeah, so am I.
Well, give us your number then before I forget. I'll ring you up when I get home. Go on.
Social worker will be here any minute. Social worker? Oh, as if it isn't bad enough the police banging on our doors. Now they're going to give us a social worker.
These people are just doing their job, Alison. This is very distressing. These accusations, the whole thing. It must be very difficult for you. How is he? I mean, physically, we don't even know what happened to him yet. He was beaten up. The police told you that. Yes? But why?
We think it was racial. He was with Yasmin.
Yasmin? His girlfriend.
What was he doing in Manchester, for God's sake? I mean, we don't even know why he ran away. There was no warning. Nothing had happened.
It's ludicrous. I mean, I'd know, wouldn't I? I mean, you would know if anything like that. I've got my own roof, my own family. You would know.
Oh, kids don't say the things that Gary said for nothing, Mrs. Lonsdale.
It's as if you were talking about a different person. Completely.
I'll leave you to it.
This isn't what I really meant, though, Joe.
It's fine, it's great. He's bound to fall off or crash into a tree or get attacked by something.
He really hurt himself. Now how clumsy he is.
I thought that was the idea, Einstein. It was your suggestion.
I meant to set up an accident. Pretend one.
Jeremy Beadle isn't going to give 250 quid for a pretend accident, is he?
You wouldn't know if it's pretend.
Why set up a pretend one when you've got a real-life Swifty to do a real-life prize winner?
What you two prattling on about?
Nothing.
to get down yet?
No, just, you know, do something interesting. Something Adam's mum and dad won't get bored of watching.
I wish we'd asked permission to come out.
Stop panicking.
Oi, look at this. This could be dangerous, you know. I could fall down and do myself an old encyclopedia full of damage.
I wish I'd kept my mouth shut, that's all. I just wish I hadn't said anything.
You did the right thing, Gary.
You don't know anything. At least before.
What? What's wrong?
I want it all to go back to like it was before.
You don't.
I do. I do. It's all gone too far.
What do you mean?
It's just all gone too far.
Are you changing your story, Gary?
A case conference has been arranged to take place here at the hospital this afternoon. We'd like you to be involved, both of you.
Ask him in here. Ask him to come in here and make these accusations in front of me and his mother.
I'm not sure that he'd agree to that.
No, of course not, because it's not true. You'll see for yourselves.
It doesn't follow he's made it all up just because he won't see you, Mr. Lonsdale.
Perhaps he's scared.
You've made up your mind about me, haven't you? Consider, just for a second, that it might not be true what he said. But for some, God knows, unimaginable reason, he's made the whole thing up. What do you think that feels like?
So why would he do that, Mr. Lonsdale? Why would he make the whole thing up?
There was an incident he was involved in shortly before he ran away. He was caught shoplifting. Seems he made quite a habit of it. I managed to pull a few strings, prevent him being taken to court.
We thought, at the time, it was the best thing to do.
And I suppose I've been rather strict with him following that, perhaps more strict than I should have been. And he has rebelled in various different ways. But never with quite such effect before. Never anything quite so twisted as this.
Can't you imagine what this is doing to my husband? To both of us? Being accused of such filth.
If I could see him for 5 minutes, here, in front of you people, you would see.
I don't want him put under too much stress. He is still weak.
I can ask him if he wants to see you. I can't insist.
He seems to be backtracking on the accusations he made.
What?
My dad's great-uncle Stanley was paralysed after being stung by a wasp during the Second World War.
Of course he was.
It's true. He had to go around in a wheelchair. I've seen photographs of him. Going to fall off. He was up this ladder, right, putting sticky tape on windows, you know, and explosions and that. And this wasp came, and it stung him, and he fell off the ladder. Wham! Paralysed by a wasp.
Nothing to do falling off the ladder then.
If we get cut, it's your idea, not mine.
Stop panicking.
Oh, the blood's rushing to my head.
Great, your brain might start working.
I want to go back inside.
Well, go then. Nobody's stopping you.
Joe.
Shut up. Get off. Ben?
What's up? What's the matter with him?
This has gone on long enough. I want to see him.
I don't think that would be advisable.
I'm not interested in what you think.
If you're going to insist on seeing him against his wishes, I can get an emergency care order served on him.
Are you in charge here?
Stevenson's just collapsed outside.
Outside? What is he doing outside? I'll deal with it.
I'll get someone to show you where you can wait.
What happened?
Just keeled over, just fell over.
He was just standing there.
His rapid pulse. His blood pressure will have dropped. Right, let's see if we can lower his heart rate a bit.
You gonna be all right?
I think you two better get back upstairs. Go on. Now that's better. He's improving. Okay, let's get him back up the ward. Come on, Ben. You're gonna be all right. We're gonna take you back upstairs.
They weren't what I was expecting. Were they you?
It can happen anywhere, Diane. Not just places like the Middleton estate.
I think it was true, that about him shoplifting.
Possibly.
I can't help thinking, you know, if he's capable of stealing, maybe he's capable of lying as well.
Mr. Lonsdale did not do himself any favours by telling us about that.
How do you mean?
It's often part of the pattern with kids who've been abused. They start getting involved in some sort of petty crime. It's just attention-seeking. Shoplifting's part of the symptom. I've got to speak to Jim's mum and dad.
In there?
Are you getting into practice?
You off?
Yeah. I feel I should hang around now, you know, with all this going on.
That's exactly why you shouldn't hang around. Carrie, start saying anything.
One of them's lying.
And it's not Carrie.
I don't know. How'd you tell? Glad I'm not the one that has to decide. I'll see you later.
See you later. What happened?
Right, you two, in here now.
Why are you doing this, Gary? Everyone's going to think you've been lying.
You don't know what it's like. It's as if he's two different people. There's one that makes me feel screwed up and hurt and dirty. And then there's this other one where he's just my dad. And he comes to see me playing football in the house finals. I just wish I wasn't here. I wish I was miles away with you.
We can't stay on the run. Not forever.
I can.
I can't. I want to be with you, but not like that.
Not enough about me.
You know how much I think about you. But I want us to be together properly, so my mum and dad don't have to worry about me. We can only be like that if you sort all this out. Just tell the truth. That's all you need to do.
I'm going to prescribe you something to keep your heart rate nice and steady. Were you racing around out there?
No, I was just scared. It wasn't my idea to come outside.
Well, don't worry about it.
Sparky speaks have to remind you.
Thanks, Rob.
You all right, love?
And a report will have to be filled in to explain why Ben was not only off the ward, but outside the hospital.
I'm sorry.
You will be. That's confiscated.
That was one of our main worries, you see. And we would like her to continue her education, wouldn't we?
Well, you need an education these days. You can't do anything these days without an education.
As I say, there's no reason why she shouldn't. As long as she's got your support. That's the main thing. Remember, Gillian, I'm always here if you need someone to speak to, other than your own social worker. Bye.
You are?
Oh,
We are.
yes.
Thank you ever so much for everything.
Yes, thank you very much.
I want to see them. Both of them have decided. And I want you to be there as well.
The lock's in for Ben.
It's obvious they shouldn't be allowed expensive toys like that on the wall.
I should have realised.
I wasn't criticising you. You're doing very well. You'll be a good nurse one day. Oh, I'll get it. Hang on, I'll be back. What's going on?
I was just checking.
Checking what?
But it worked. Just in case, you know.
What's the matter? What happened?
A non-Sparky speaks this lunchtime, a very distinguished guest. Someone who decided at the age of 11, after an operation to remove his adenoids, that he wanted to grow up to be the man behind the scalpel. All the way from Children's Ward, paediatric consultant, Dr. Brian Stoker. Dr. Stoker, welcome.
My pleasure.
Nurse? Nurse? I'm running out of paper.
I'll find some. 2 minutes.
How many of those is he taking?
None yet.
You sure?
Yeah?
I think we better just double-check the dosage for you.
Reasonably practical.
And you'd survive?
Oh, I expect so.
And your first music choice, please?
Stockhausen. Contact.
That's the correct dosage. You better give it to him. You're gonna have to report this one.
I'm prepared to go back home. The three of us together and get back to normal as quickly as possible. No recriminations, nothing. All I ask in return is that you drop this nonsense.
You abused me.
Gary, you're wasting these people's time. They have to help children who really have been hurt.
Go on, admit it. Tell them, say it. Tell Anne. Tell Mum. Tell them what you did to me.
No one believes you.
Anne believes me.
She's paid to believe you. How can anyone really believe someone who's stolen things from shops?
That's irrelevant. That doesn't affect anything.
No, of course it's not irrelevant. It means that Gary, my son, who I think I know better than you, is unfortunately someone not to be trusted.
I only went out stealing things after you touched me. It made me feel better. That was why he covered it up. Did you tell Anne that? He covered it up to stop me getting done. Because he knew if I got done, I might go and tell someone about what he was doing to me.
We covered it up because we cared about your future.
Gary, your father thinks the world of you. We both do. That's why we helped. Why are you going on with this sick, horrible lie?
It's not a lie. It's sick and horrible, but it's not a lie. And if you'd opened your eyes, you would have known. You'd have seen what was going on under your nose. You nearly found out once. 4 years ago. When we moved to Edinburgh and I started at the new school. You used to teach night classes. You know when you did adult literacy.
I think you better shut up before you disturb your mother any further.
You came home early one night because your student hadn't turned up. And we didn't hear you come in. And you came into my bedroom. And you saw us on the bed. Me and him. And you said we were only wrestling.
We were only wrestling.
You were only.
Except we were wrestling.
Look after yourself, Sean. See you in about 10 minutes. Sound all right, did it?
What?
The radio program.
We put milligrams instead of micrograms. It was spotted before we took them. Enough Lanoxin to kill him.
Dr. Stokey, you left your...
Oh, right, thanks, Adam. It's easily done.
You said it was our little secret. And I hadn't to spoil it by telling anyone. You said if I told anyone, then nobody'd ever want to cuddle me. And nobody'd like me. And then when I was older, you'd say I couldn't tell anyone. Because if I did, they'd throw him in prison.
He's heard all this on television. He's read it somewhere.
And I didn't know why he wanted to hurt me so much. And say it was fine and normal and plenty of other people did it. And I knew they didn't. And at school I was the odd one out. And I felt so disgusting. Because I thought people could tell just by looking at me and know that I was filthy and dirty and ridiculous.
These things have not happened. Do you imagine them? He's making them up.
Tell me. Why didn't you say something?
Why didn't you know?
You don't believe it?
Don't Don't touch.
Alison, you don't believe him. He's lying. He's lying. Tell me he's lying. Say it.
Now, if you have any problems like Gary, or indeed any other troubles that you'd like to talk about, you can ring at Childline on 0800 1111. That's 0800 1111. Now, it's completely free, it's private, no one's going to tell anyone else that you've phoned, and it's especially for you to use. Now, you can ring from any phone, again, it's absolutely free, including a call box. Childline is there to listen and to help, so just give them a ring on 0800 1111. That's 0800 1111. Now, make sure you do give them a ring if you do have a problem. Don't sit there on your own. There are people out there who can help you, and they're on the other end of that telephone line, so make sure you give them a call. All right? Now, at 10 to 4 tomorrow, we kick off with Bugs Bunny and Ali Baba Bunny. At 5 to 4, it's Rupert and the Mulp Gulper. Apparently, Algie meets the monster that gulps mulps or something. And Grot Bag at 20 past 4, more monsters. She gets frightened of being tickled to death. And we finish off at 20 to 5 with the Tomorrow People. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
The Tomorrow People. They're out of time, out of place, drawn together by abilities of which the world has only dreamed.
This proves it. You are telepathic.
What brought us here?
I'm not sure, but it's been waiting for us for thousands of years.
The Tomorrow People.
They are teleporters.
Teleport! The Tomorrow People. Wednesdays at 20 to 5 on CITV.
Famous people, famous places. It's a new quiz show and it's right after the break.
Fancy a game? My game. I am the gatekeeper! Roll the dice!
The interactive board game hosted by a video for everyone aged 12 and over.
Think you can win?
Atmosphere.
I think not.
A thrilling race against time. And the gatekeeper.
Let's party!
Introducing the Lamborghini Diablo, Ferrari F40, and new Super Sound.
Obey me, Wario. I am your master. Mario is your enemy.
The wicked imposter Wario has cast an evil spell over Mario Land.
Don't let Mario get the 6 golden coins. Don't let Mario reach the palace.
This is the biggest, most dangerous, most challenging Game Boy adventure yet.
Obey Wario. Destroy Mario.
Don't fall under Wario's evil spell in Super Mario Land 2. Only on Game Boy.
Now on Thames, here's William G. Stewart with the quiz show Famous People, Famous Places.
Thank you. Hello. If you weren't with us yesterday, Famous People, Famous Places is a game in which the answers to the questions are mostly the names of famous people and famous places. But they can be famous anything. And with us today to play Famous People are John Goodwin from Oldbury in the West Midlands, Jeremy Baker from Romsey in Hampshire, Janet Roche from Chelmsford in Essex, Elizabeth Strachan from Ashford in Kent, and Alan Bow from Hornchurch in Essex. There you are. Famous People comes in 6 rounds. The questions come in 3 parts. The sooner the contestants answer, the higher they score. And incorrect answers are penalised. They start with 100 points each, and in round 1, face 2 questions each. Other contestants may buzz in, but only get a chance to answer if the contestant facing the question fails to give me a correct answer. Here we go. John, your first question. 5 points. Sport. He is a special representative for sports for UNICEF. 3 points. He captained his country to victory in a World Cup in 1992. 1 point. He is only one of 4 players ever to score more than 3,000 runs and take 300 wickets in Test cricket.
Gary Sobers.
Jeremy, please.
Graham Gooch.
Alan, please.
Imran Khan.
Your first question, Jeremy. Which landmark, built in the 18th century in a European capital city, is based on the model of the Propylaea in Athens? 3 points. It is surmounted by the famous Quadriga of Triumph, which disappeared during World War II, but was replaced in 1958. 1 point. Between 1961 and 1989, it lay in the eastern side of the divided city. Janet, please.
Brandenburg Gate.
Your first question, Janet. 5 points. Which American statesman said of his country's struggle for independence, "Yes, we must indeed all hang together, or most assuredly we shall all hang separately"?
No.
3 points. He helped draft both the American Declaration of Independence and the US Constitution and was a signatory to both.
Abraham Lincoln.
Jeremy, please.
Benjamin Franklin.
Elizabeth, your first question. 5 points. This reigning European monarch came to the throne in 1975. 3 points. The previous monarch had left the throne in the 1930s before he himself was even born.
King Juan Carlos.
Alan, please, your first question. Winfield House in Regent's Park in London is the official residence of Mr. Raymond Seitz. What post does he hold?
Is he the US ambassador to Britain?
He is indeed. John, your second question. Famous quotations from Omar Bradley, a World War II American general. We have grasped the mystery of the atom and rejected the what?
No.
3 points. What we have rejected refers to an event from the New Testament. 1 point. Parts of this New Testament event are referred to as the Beatitudes.
The Earth.
Jeremy, please.
The Sermon on the Mount.
It is. And your second question, Jeremy. 5 points. Prime Minister from 1828 to 1830, and again in 1834. When he died in 1852, he was one of only 4 commoners in the 19th century to be given a full state funeral. 3 points. His home in London had the address number 1 London.
Duke of Wellington.
Janet, please, your question. Charles Dickens for 5 points. If the law supposes that, the law is a ass, a idiot. Which character in a Dickens novel defends himself with those words?
Guessing Samuel Weller.
John, please.
Mr. Micawber.
Jeremy, please.
Mr. Bumble.
Indeed. And Elizabeth, 5 points. The modern musical Miss Saigon is based on which famous piece of work?
Madame Butterfly.
And Alan, the last question in the round for 5 points. A famous story about this 11th century English figure occurs in Roger of Wendover's chronicle written in the 13th century. 3 points. Her husband was the Earl of Chester.
Lady Godiva.
And the scores at the end of round 1 stand at John 93, Jeremy 111, Janet 95, Elizabeth 108, Alan 109. Rounds 2 and 3 go like this. 20 questions, all on the buzzer. First to buzz at any level gets a chance to answer. At the end of 10 questions, the player with the lowest score drops out. At the end of the next 10 questions, the contestant then with the lowest score drops out. But from now on, any contestant scoring must then decide which other contestant is penalised at the same level, which means that if any score goes up, another score must come down. Here we go. 5 points. During the 1980s, large gates were constructed across the most famous cul-de-sac in London. Its name, please? Janet.
Downing Street.
Give me a name, please, Janet.
Alan.
For 5 points, the United States. Only 2 men have ever been granted honorary US citizenship. Winston Churchill in 1963, the other in 1981. Who was he? 3 points. He was a Swedish diplomat who was also made an honorary citizen of Canada in 1985 and Israel in 1986. 1 point. He was posted in Budapest during World War II and helped save the lives of thousands of Jews. Alan, please.
Wallenberg.
Yes, give me a name, please.
Janet, please.
For 5 points, Mare Tranquillitatis was in the late 1960s the site of what historical event? Janet, please.
First landing on the moon.
A name, please. Yes, the first man
Elizabeth.
landing. 5 points. These days, they are part of larger constituencies, but from 1603 to 1950, these 2 establishments each returned 2 members of Parliament. Alan, please.
The universities at Oxford and Cambridge.
Give me a name, Alan.
Jeremy, please.
For 5 points, which relative of Prince Philip once confessed, actually, I vote Labour, but my butler's a Tory? The year was 1945. 1 point, he was Viceroy of India. Alan, please.
Mountbatten.
A name, please, Alan.
Elizabeth, please.
5 points. In legend, it was built by the hero Finn McCool to bridge the channel between Ireland and Scotland. What was? Alan, please.
The Giant's Causeway.
A name, please, Alan.
Jeremy, please.
5 points. Films. Who in the 1940s was the first person to be nominated for 4 Oscars for producer, director, actor, screenwriter for 1 film? John, please.
Orson Welles.
A name, please, John.
Jeremy.
5 points. Entertainment. A famous 2-man team who first came to fame as members of a famous quartet in the 1960s. 3 points. Between 1965 and 71, they made 4 series on the BBC of an original and hugely popular comedy series. 1 point. One was a founder of a famous London satirical club and a famous satirical magazine. Alan, please.
Peter Cook and Dudley Moore.
A name, please.
Elizabeth, please. 5
points. He was nicknamed the Wizard of Menlo Park, where he established a scientific laboratory in the 1870s. John, please.
Edison.
A name, please.
Jeremy.
And the last question in the round, 5 points. Located in Staffordshire, this tourist attraction is the former home of the Earls of Shrewsbury. Alan, please.
Alton Towers. John, please.
And at the end of round 2, the scores stand at John 98, Jeremy 91, Janet 104, Elizabeth 101, Alan 122. Jeremy, your score is going to disappear. These next 10 questions, and at the end of them, the contestant then with the lowest score will see their score go out. Here we go. 5 points. Films. This movie hero's creator was Steven Spielberg. He appeared in 3 films in the 1980s, in one of which Sean Connery played his father. Alan, please.
Indiana Jones.
A name, please.
Elizabeth, please.
5 points. Listen carefully. It is said to be the largest structure ever built by living creatures. Alan?
The Great Barrier Reef.
A name, please.
John, please.
5 points. An American war journalist, novelist, and short story writer. A Pulitzer Prize in 1953, a Nobel Prize for Literature in 1954. 3 points. His autobiographical work includes A Movable Feast, 1964, about his life as a young man in Paris. 1 point. He died by his own hand in 1961. Elizabeth?
Ernest Hemingway.
A name, please.
Janet.
5 points. Who was the creator of the comic strip Barry Mackenzie, which ran in Private Eye for 9 years, 1964 to 1973? 3 points. He is now better known for 2 characters from his native country, one of whom is a television megastar. Alan?
Barry Humphries.
A name, please.
Janet, please.
5 points. This event occurred during the reign of George III and ended with a British surrender. John, please.
The American War of Independence.
Indeed. A name, please.
Elizabeth.
5 points. A former BBC radio producer, He later worked for the Foreign Office in Washington. He left Britain in 1951, never to return. Janet, please.
Alistair Cook.
For 3 points, those of you still playing. His life abroad was the subject of a play by Alan Bennett called An Englishman Abroad. John?
Guy Burgess.
A name, please.
Janet.
5 points. Famous dates. What happened on the 25th of October, 1415? John?
Battle of Agincourt.
A name, please.
Elizabeth.
5 points. Who, as Minister of Culture for a European country, was famous for her efforts to persuade the British government to denude one room at the British Museum of its contents and return them to their rightful home? John?
Melina Mercouri.
We couldn't have a programme without that. A name, please.
Janet.
5 points. 2 names, please. Their famous story is based on the true life story of a young couple who lived in the 13th and 14th centuries. 3 points. The story ends in tragedy. He dies by poison, she by his dagger, in both cases, suicide. Alan?
Romeo and Juliet.
A name, please.
John, please.
And the last question in the round, 5 points. Songwriter, television and radio presenter, he stood for Parliament in 1978 as a royalist candidate. 3 points. While still at Cambridge in 1965, he wrote his hit song, Everyone's Gone to the Moon. John, please.
Jonathan King.
A name, please.
Alan.
And at the end of round 3, the scores stand at John 111, Janet 87, Elizabeth 87, and Alan 135, which means we need a sudden death playoff question to decide whether Janet or Elizabeth loses their place in the second half. And the scores won't change. Which family is this, Janet and Elizabeth? Originally a Spanish family, from which came 2 popes. The first, Calixtus III, in 1455. The second pope from the family was Alexander VI. 1 point. Alexander's daughter is now remembered as a legendary poisoner and political intriguer. Elizabeth?
The Borgias.
And the result of that sudden death question means that after the break we shall have John with us, Elizabeth and Alan, and we'll be back with a menu board and some picture clues. We'd like to have you with us.
Women. You see, the thing is, you gotta be real cool. Don't call them, just let them stew. What's that line from the old film?
Fanning the flames of desire with the bellows of indifference.
Nice one. Go to rule number 1. Treat them mean, keep them keen. Hello? Debbie! I was just thinking about you. I was gonna call. Sally, get up. What? No. She's a dog. No, that's all the stereotype thing. Debbie, listen to me.
The Jacksons have a nasty tickly cough. Lucy sticks with her less effective remedy. But Tom has discovered Vicks Vapor Syrup, which starts working the moment you swallow, coating your throat straight away with its special cough-soothing formula. Although Lucy's cough syrup will work, she'll have to wait a while. Unlike Tom, Vicks Vapor Syrup starts working the moment you swallow. Now available for all the family.
Surprisingly, all this won't provide you with the fibre you need each day. In fact, you'd have to eat twice as much. Or you could simply add a bowl of Kellogg's All Bran. Kellogg's All Bran, a great fibre provider.
When I discovered that this new Fairy Excel isn't just tougher on grease, but also gentler than ever on hands,
because you love him, give him Caesar. Choice cuts of fine meats carefully selected and prepared, with the vitamins and minerals he needs every day. Caesar, to love him like he loves you.
Welcome back. Still with us are John Goodwin with 111 points, Elizabeth Strachan with 87, and Alan Bower with 135. Round 4 is the menu board. Here it is. Franklin D. Roosevelt, Film Studios, Oscar Wilde, Poets Corner, Nicknames, Radio 4, Sports Venues, and Famous Partnerships. 8 categories. Each contestant makes 2 choices. The other 2 can buzz in at each level, 5, 3, and 1, but only for a chance to answer if the contestant choosing the subject fails to answer correctly. Highest score at this stage gets first choice. So, there we are, Alan.